You're still watching Morning at NTV, the #1 breakfast show in the country. We are now getting into another contentious conversation, the issue of abandoned children. Well, courtesy of the Child Care Consortium, the conversation on the care of vulnerable children has taken on a new direction as far as sustainability is concerned. Most are now sending children to live with their families or relatives, where they are now jeering to support them from the confines of from those homes. But then we are getting information that once a child leaves a children's home, like the SOS Children's Village, some families are actually rejecting those children, especially the boys. Why, would like to know. And what is the Ministry of Gender doing in terms of capacity building and so forth, would like to know. We have Olive Lumonia. She's the National Director of the SOS Children's Village, and she joins us right now in studio. Very good morning, Olive.
Good morning to you.
All right, first of all, would like to know, how have you been grappling during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially in the work of dwindling support or donations?
What I can say is that in the COVID-19, we've tried to do very well with the families. We've come up with very innovative ways in which we can continue sustainability. We've engaged the children, the mothers, and everybody to grow their own food, to learn how to tailor clothes. We've done it, our own masks. We've done a lot of things of empowering the young people to be able to manage on their own. So sustainability is one of the things that we are focusing on. Right now, we are looking at donor funding reducing, and the question we are having is that how can we ensure continuity after COVID-19? So,
now, on the issue of reintegration, what prompted this? Would like to know, because you're now talking about a situation whereby you get children from these children's homes, like SOS Children's Village, and you look for their families, their relatives, so that you can reintegrate them within these homes. How did this idea come about?
Yeah, what I can say is that reintegration is a process. It takes sometimes over 2 years to reintegrate. So the need, one, it's the best thing to do, because when a child is reintegrated with their families of origin or with their biological parents, there's an advantage, and research has proved that to be. The other one is that when a child is reintegrated, it is easier for them to fit within society. An example I can give is that we have children where we have totally failed to trace their origin, and they have to leave SOS. So they don't have the social structure to enable them fit into society. So it's a good thing to do. The other one is that if you're looking at sustainability with the increasing number of children abandoned, children in homes, you cannot continue building homes to take in children. So what we did is that we identified children where we have a record of maybe a known relative, a grandmother who is still alive, or an auntie, and we started the process of reintegration. This reintegration is taking back children to that family, trying to create a bond. They go on for holidays, maybe one week, come back home. We engage the community structures, we engage the villages, the location, just to be sure that these are the known relatives of that child.
Have you encountered scenarios where you take this child to a family and they reject them? Because we've been hearing these stories. I think even Kawesa did a story on this. The case of abandoned children being taken back, but the boys are being rejected. Why?
I think that is very true, very, very true. Out of this whole strategy that we've been implementing with support from our donors, that is SOS Netherlands, our plan was to reintegrate a certain number of children. As we speak, we've reintegrated 105. Of those, 57 are from SOS. However, the majority that have not been accepted are the boys. And it's just clear, because a boy, once brought back home, they need land from the our African kind of culture. They will need a piece of land. They will need cows to be able to marry a wife. Or the demands mean that this boy will never go away and the girl will be married off and go away. So we think it's the social structures, our cultures, that actually are making it hard for us to take back the boys to those communities.
We'd also like to know, Olive, what role has the Ministry of Gender played in terms of capacity building?
Yeah, we've been working closely with the Ministry of Gender, I must say, for the last 3 years. And more strongly in the last 2 years, we are implementing a project called ACOS with the Ministry of Gender, Alternative Care Support, which we are giving together with the Ministry of Gender to all other homes, not only SOS. So we are supporting all the other homes on, one, verifying and monitoring how the children are doing in those homes, Two, enlightening them or training them on some of the most important rules or laws that must be, and also supporting them to be able to identify families of origin and take back those children.
Now
and that project is continuing.
It's continuing.
Yes.
Olive, the issue of children with disabilities, do you reintegrate them too?
Yes, but that is not easy, because if reintegrating a child who has no disability is not easy, what about a child with a disability? It can only be easy if a biological parent was alive. But if you're trying to trace a family of origin and you're saying, yes, this child seems to have come from here, or the mother passed away some time back, we've had so many of those cases, such children are not easily reintegrated. So what we've done, the law is very clear. Once a child is 18 years of age, they are supposed to leave the home. So what we've done with the children who are 18 and they need to leave, we've rented or got them houses or homes outside the village. Especially there are those that have no known relative, both boys and girls.
It must be tough for the girls, yes, being 18 and having to rent outside a children's home.
Yes.
How are you handling that?
It is not easy because in our own culture, a girl who is 18 stays at home. Even when they've finished university, there's a protection around them. But in this process, we must take them out at 18. And those with disabilities, we are retaining them in the villages, and we're engaging the Ministry of Gender, and they allow us to keep them until they are able to stay on their own.
Olive Lumonia, the National Director of the SOS Children's Village, many thanks for having made the time to speak to us.
Thank you.
I'm wishing in the near future we could have this conversation more and expound on it.
Thank
19 million young children, and out of that number, only 40,000 are actually in children's homes. So where are the rest? What happens to the rest of the destitute children? We'll be taking a lot more about that conversation next time. Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you.
And of course, that brings us to the end of the show. My name is Rami Busiku, but before I do that, I would like to wish a joyous birthday to all the kings, queens, boys and girls who are celebrating their birthdays on this particular day. But you should be cognizant of the fact that the coronavirus is still rearing its very ugly head, with 39,911 cases registered right here in Uganda. 328 people have died as a result of COVID-19, and that is 2.3 million on the international stage, and the infections have been tallied at 107.6 million. Yes, it has increased. 107 million people have actually been infected with COVID-19. So wear a face mask, arm yourself with a sanitizer, ensure social distancing of at least 2 to 3 meters. And let's do this again tomorrow, same time. Good morning.